So by now you know that you need to learn how to take charge in the bedroom, so your lover can open up, surrender, and feel more pleasure than she's ever felt before. My name is Dr. Leonard McGill. I'm the founder and director of EnergySexuality.com. Now in this video we're going to show you a sexual technique that's going to allow your lover to really open and allow you to take complete control in the bedroom. And what this technique is squirting G-spot orgasms. Now if you haven't seen the first two videos that I sent out, I would highly suggest that you look at those now. If you go up to the top of the screen, there's two tabs and you can click on video 1 and video 2 to see what we covered there. Because many of the techniques we went over in those first two videos, we're going to use for this training session as well. Now there's a lot of confusion around squirting G-spot orgasms, so I'm going to try to be perfectly clear here. There's this idea that only some women have the ability to squirt. But for the past 3 years, I've been interviewing men who are known to help women to have squirting orgasms. And what these experts have told me says that if a woman trusts you, if she's relaxed, and you have a good technique, virtually any woman can have a squirting G-spot orgasm. So the bottom line is, to give yourself the best chance of gifting your lover with a squirting G-spot orgasm, you need to get her to trust you, she needs to relax, and you have to have a good technique. Now I have to give you a disclaimer here because this is such a powerful sexual technique. So if you or your partner are under the age of 18, do not do this technique. Be sure that your hands are squeaky clean and that your fingernails are trimmed short with no hangnails or rough edges. So unless your hands and your fingers are squeaky clean and perfectly smooth, do not do this technique. Don't do this technique on a woman who's pregnant or is menstruating. And don't do it if you're intoxicated or under the influence of recreational or pharmaceutical drugs that don't allow you to think clearly. Most importantly, if at any time during this technique your partner experiences pain, stop what you're doing, talk to her, and maybe try the technique sometime later. The bottom line is you have to take responsibility for the health and well-being of your partner, because I won't be held responsible for any adverse reactions or outcomes from you doing this technique. So let's show you how to give a woman a squirting G-spot orgasm. What I'm about to show you comes from my friend Jose Torian. He's probably the world's most famous vaginal masseuse, and what I'm teaching you here is what he taught me. So first, let me show you the hand position that you're going to be using to produce squirting G-spot orgasms. You're going to hold your hand just like this, with the two middle fingers pointing up and the index and pinky fingers off to the side. So you're going to put your fingers into the vagina like this. Now hopefully by now you've learned that you can't just push two fingers into the vagina and hope for anything good to happen. You want to treat this woman so well that her vagina invites you in. So you're going to do whatever kind of foreplay is necessary to get her relaxed and opened and wet. And by the way, you never want to do this without lubrication. So don't count on her personal lubrication to let you do this technique. You're going to have to use personal lubricant and lots of it to make sure that you slide in and out easily. So what you want to do, in terms of foreplay, I think the best foreplay is doing 5 to 10 minutes of the vaginal massage technique we learned in video 2. Because if you do that, then her vagina is really going to be open and ready for you. So what you want to do to start this technique is you want to put your left hand on her heart. And in video 2 we went over how you want to instruct your lover to breathe in and out through her mouth, and when she breathes out to make that ah sound. And you want to model that for her so she knows exactly what to do. What I've found is that a lot of women will do this once or twice and they'll forget about doing it. So when you're doing this technique, sometimes you have to remind your lover to say ah as she breathes out. And what that's going to do, it's going to really relax her. So as she takes a breath in, you're going to slip your fingers in, and then you can remove your left hand from her heart if you'd like. Now the best position for you to be in is to be kneeling by her right hip on the bed. And if you're left-handed, you're going to be kneeling by her left hip on the bed. So you're going to be kneeling, and you have two fingers at the entrance of her vagina, and you're going to say, I'm going to put my fingers in now. Remember, a lot of women's vaginas have been traumatized by incompetent or rough-handling lovers. And if you just shove your fingers in, nothing good's going to happen. So you tell her what's going to happen, and then you slide your fingers in. So I'm going to use my glass vase here to show you exactly what to do. You're going to slide in. You can see the clitoris here, so we're below the clitoris, and we're going to be working on the G spot right underneath the clitoris and about an inch or two back. So the first thing you want to do is to create small circular patterns with your fingertips on the G-spot. So like this. And you're going to do this for 10 to 20 seconds. Now, if you've readied your partner through proper foreplay, especially if you've done the vaginal massage technique, after about 20 seconds, as you're moving your fingers around like this, you're going to start to hear a squishing sound, and that's fluid building up around your fingertips. So when you hear that sound, or if you don't hear it, when your woman starts to breathe more deeply, perhaps moan, perhaps start to writhe on the bed, when you can tell she's really enjoying herself, you're going to switch from this circular motion to actually using a come here motion with your two fingertips inside the vagina, rubbing up against that G-spot. So it's going to look like this. Now this is very important. You don't want to just use your wrist and fingers when you're doing this technique. You want most of the motion to come from your shoulder. So instead of doing this very rapidly, you're going to start slowly, and then as you build up, you're going to start to move your hand like this. But you're going to be using your shoulder back and forth to get that motion. So here's what it's going to look like. You're going to start slowly, fingertips rubbing around in circles like this. You're going to hear that squishing sound, or she's going to start to show you that she's really enjoying herself. And then you're going to build up speed like this from the shoulder joint in and out like this. And you're going to move and build up very quickly. So producing a squirting G-spot orgasm is the sexual equivalent of a 100-yard dash. Once you start, you're going to go as fast as you can, and usually things are going to be over in 20 to 30 seconds. So it's going to be like this. Okay? Now, you can see why you'd want a lot of lube in that situation, right? So what's usually going to happen is when she releases, which again is going to be after 20 or 30 seconds, she's going to lose control basically, and you're going to feel a lot of fluid down there as you're doing this. Now after she has one squirting G-spot orgasm, you want to let her rest. So let your fingertips come to a stop. You can put your left hand on her heart again and tell her to make the ah sound just to kind of calm her nervous system down. And then after 20 to 30 seconds, you can start over again, but you're going to start with that circular motion again. When you hear the squishing sound or when she starts to really let you know she's getting into it, again, you're going to use your shoulder joint and move your hand really fast until she has another squirting G-spot orgasm. Now, the experts that I've talked to said that most women prefer 3 to 6 squirting G-spot orgasms in any one session. My friend Jose always gives his clients at least 5 because he says the first one, it's like they go, well, that was really cool, but that was kind of weird. The second one is, ooh, that was really great, and by the time they get to 5, they're totally into it, experiencing a full-body orgasm. Now, one thing about this squirting G-spot orgasm technique is you don't have to concern yourself with the clitoris during the technique because you're putting all your attention on the G-spot. However, between squirting G-spot orgasms, you can use your left middle finger to pleasure the clitoris and build up sexual excitement between squirting G-spot orgasms. Now, some women say squirting G-spot orgasms are the best they've ever had. Some say they're just different. But nearly every woman that experiences a squirting G-spot orgasm says that it was a great release. There's a great liberation involved. And the really cool thing is that as a man, you're the one that's in charge of giving her that release. And you get a chance to be in charge and take control. She gets a chance to completely open up and let go. And that combination of you being in charge and her being able to let go completely is a wonderful formula for awesome sex. Not just when you're talking about vaginal massage, but in any kind of sex. And this is why this sort of technique carries over into your normal sex life, where you can start to take more control in the bedroom and your woman can start to trust you more and open more and more into pure pleasure. So what would it be like if you could give your wife or your girlfriend this kind of pleasure? If she was really being satisfied in the bedroom? Well, for most men, they report that they become more confident in the bedroom. And this confidence, this sense of control, carries over into other parts of their life and into other parts of their relationships. For women, it's a little different. For women, it's like, finally I've found a man I can completely open up with and just experience pleasure, which, as we talked about in video 1, is a deep thirst that so many modern women have. They want to be able to let go in the bedroom, and with a technique like this, you're giving them that opportunity. One woman I interviewed said that before, when we had sex, it was like scratching an itch. But since he's been doing this for me, my heart flies open for him. And this is what I and thousands of men and women around the world are experiencing, that when you incorporate this kind of sexuality into your relationship becomes much deeper, your woman is happier, and your life gets much easier. So in the past 3 years in researching energy sexuality and these new sexual techniques, I've found there's 3 barriers that men have that keep them from learning these skills. The first one is they just say, well, Dr. Leonard, I'm uncomfortable. And the truth is that I bet every sexual experience that you have ever had that was a great sexual experience started out with you being a little uncomfortable. You remember back when you took a girl to the movies and you put your arm around her shoulders for the first time? Wasn't that uncomfortable? See, personal growth happens at the edges of our comfort zone. And this is no different. Now my job is to make this kind of relating and these kind of sexual techniques easy and accessible, and I take that very seriously. So if you're uncomfortable, if you have to make a decision, if you're ready to take on a bigger role in the bedroom and step outside of your comfort zone so you can expand your sexual horizons. The second barrier that I hear men put up is that, you know, I bet women would love that, I could really see how they'd get into it, but I just don't think I could learn it. Well, the truth is, any man can learn these techniques. It's not rocket science. What it takes is just stepping in, starting to learn how to do it, and hopefully getting some feedback from your partner along the way, and soon you're going to be a rock star at this stuff. Now, the third barrier I've found with men is that they have this attitude. They'll say, well, I'm kind of a meat and potatoes kind of guy. The most exotic thing I do in the bedroom is like doggy style. And the truth is, if you and your lover are perfectly happy with your sex lives, then don't learn this stuff. But if it's been a while since you've had that kind of sex that leaves you totally obliterated in each other's arms, where you're going like, wow, this is the greatest thing ever, then I urge you to learn these techniques. So now I've given you 3 videos to help you get the best sex of your life. And I can tell you this stuff works. If you and your partner will incorporate these ideas into your lovemaking, you're going to be very pleased. You know, I get excited sharing this information with men. I've been around the world the past 3 years traveling with experts like Montauk Chia in Thailand and David Data in California, and I've met men and women that have taken on this new kind of sexuality and are just having a blast in the bedroom, and that have created wonderful relationships. And if you're ready to join me to move further along this path, if you'd like to experience a real transformation in your life, then in the next few days I'm going to be offering you an opportunity to do that. If you want to achieve a real transformation, that's what the next video is all about. For now, I'd like to ask you a favor, and that's to scroll down to the bottom of the page and give me a like, because as we've said before, everybody loves to get likes, and also to leave me a question or a comment. How do you plan to use these techniques in the bedroom? Or if you've already tried some of them, how are they working for you? I'm going to look at every question and comment that comes in. I'm going to write back to as many of you as I possibly can. So please, right now, scroll down, give me a like, leave a question or a comment, and I'll see you on the next video.